What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wartorn Weekly. I'm your host, Brad. I got these two gentlemen.
You forgot for just a second who we were. It was so good.
Every time.
It's because you both have names that sound the same, so it just confuses me sometimes.
This is
Jared
Gavin. No,
and
Gavin.
Gavin?
No,
Jesus
Gavin.
Christ.
Gavin. Gavin's
Jared.
to my left, Jared's to my right.
Yeah.
We got some fun stuff. Let's start off with some FAQ.
Yep.
Right,
They
yeah,
rolled
Jared, go ahead, take this.
Yeah, they actually very recently, as of filming now, like a couple of days, I think, or like, yeah, a couple of
Yesterday
days.
it came
yeah.
out, wasn't it
Yeah.
yesterday? Or
Yeah,
I
they've
don't know.
rolled out the FAQs for all of the indexes, the rulebook itself, and even Dark Imperium.
Yeah, there's some serious adjustments. There's actual, like, stat line adjustments in them for
Yeah.
some guys. Like,
Yeah,
I
there's
know
some
my
hardcore
AdMech actually got touched on them just a little.
Did
Tiny
they
bit.
address the Dune Crawler thing?
Oh, no. Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. This It's 6 to 11 and not 7 to 11,
Okay.
leaving out 6,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
great.
So people can stop panicking whenever they hit
Yeah,
six.
I mean, I did. I was like, what do I do? Am I invincible now?
But yeah, no, that's it's really good. I like that they quickly rolled that stuff out.
Yeah, if that's a sign of A, how popular this edition is, how many people are playing, and how much feedback they're getting. Like, there's a lot of things that could contribute to them wanting to get them out this fast, and I think they're all good.
Yes.
I don't think it's like we've seen in the past them put out some kind of hot garbage as far as wording goes. I mean, let's be real though. I mean, they're great right
Like
now,
that-
but like 5th, 6th, 7th, before that even, terrible sometimes.
Don't get me started with the 7th edition FAQs.
Yeah, right? And yeah, and the FAQs took forever and were bad.
Yeah.
They'd make more problems.
And they made people angry.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Especially
If you're-
orc players.
Yeah, oh my goodness. He's just so mad, isn't he? Yeah, we are. We're so mad.
Yeah. So it's so good. All of the things that could contribute to them wanting to get them out this fast, all wonderful. I think
Yes.
all really good signs for the health of the hobby in
Oh, yeah.
general. And it's got me really excited. It got me, of course, wanting to be like, oh, I want to paint this stuff now. It's like, no. Stick to your plan, Gavin.
Stick to your
And
plan.
but on that same notion, they have also introduced some really weird answers to problems that were kind of like odd.
Yeah.
Like with the whole shield drone scenario, or like drones because of savior protocols.
I think a lot of
An
these problems that
invalidated-
were big enough, they were like, oh, whatever, we've already got the rule, we've already got something planned to fix that in their codex. They can wait.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because all of these
what I'm
problems seem like things that are like, they're going to get some cool-ass rules that they just don't have
Just
right
hang tight.
Yeah.
Just hang tight. It's supposedly it's rumored to be all based off of the whole codex post, which will.
Yeah,
I guess
go
we'll just
right into
segue
it.
right into that.
Yeah, go
so
for it.
They announced that they're rolling out all the codexes, and they've actually shown 4.
I have a gripe. Cover art. This bothers me so much because I'm a collector. I mean, if
Library.
you've seen my work desk, it's a library of all my past codices, and I love the cover art on all of them. Some of them are better than others, but I honestly like all of them for different reasons, and I always like new ones. I'm hoping that we saw temp art for Chaos. It has been so long since the official Chaos Codex has come out. You can't roll out this friggin' generic stuff from 6th edition.
6th edition.
You can't do that to us.
6th edition artwork for the.
And
Chaos
Grey
Knight.
Knights, I think that's either the 6th, I can't remember. They either came out right before 7th or right after 7th
Yep.
dropped, but it's been a while. That's old Dex art. And it's killing me!
That's okay.
I'm spitting everywhere!
It's okay because the Adeptus Astartes got their new cover art
Yeah, that's great.
with the very lovely.
Who knew that was going to happen, right?
which will roll out later July, so that's going to be great. I'm picking one up right
Some
now.
of my favorite things that's ever happened on Warhammer Twitter has been people's response to the design team being like, oh man, Adeptus Astartes Codex coming out first, a shocker! Shocked! And stuff like that. I'm like, and their responses are they know how to handle this stuff, so they're
great.
actually giving out some good, funny responses, which has been a blast to read through.
They're going to roll out first with the Adeptus Astartes, and then I'm assuming based off of the ordering, Chaos Marines, Grey Knights, followed by Death Guard, a little tucked away in the back
I think
there.
we know that 10 codexes coming
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
before
10
2018. 10.
By the end of the year.
Also likely know that they're all going to be Chaos, or they say Imperium, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be.
They've got 6
Space
months to do that, and this month is only getting 1.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying it's likely that all power armored armies aside from sisters. Don't get your hopes up, fellas.
No, hold on. Slow your roll.
I think everything Space Marines and most Chaos Space Marine or Heretic kind of chapters are going to be getting, or legions, I guess, are going to be getting their stuff.
And that was rumored that this entire year, remainder of the year, is going to be all loyalists and heretics coverage in terms of updates.
But we were told, hey, we're going to get some new stuff.
We're going to hit all the Xenos.
And not only Xenos, but new factions, like essentially splinter factions.
Oh, yeah.
They hinted at that ever so lightly, that we're going to start seeing. And I imagine this is going to be somewhere along the line of Death Watch or Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah, they've actually said Death Watch, I think.
Yeah. So we're going to have some no, I'm saying we're going to get a new one coming next year. So I imagine, who knows, maybe Tau will get auxiliaries or something.
I'm banking that the second they finish all of the loyalist heretics for this year, all those 10 codices, they're going to start hitting all the Xenos.
My fingers are crossed for the last codex of this year being Blood Angels and the first of Xenos being Tyranids, because then they can do. I mean,
You sure you want that? Index made them pretty good right now.
I just want new models, man. I always want new Gribblies for my army of Gribblies.
Yeah, Gribbly armies.
So other things that I talked about in the codex was, you're going to see some special stratagems that you can use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the details. Warlord traits.
Yep.
Relics. Stratagems. What else did they say?
You're going to be able to pick
Psychic powers.
psychic powers. You're going to be able to pick relics.
Fleshed out, because right now we only
And
have
then they
3.
said with subsidiaries within the codexes are going to have
subsections,
special rules
all
and
like
stuff
for
like that.
for the
Chapters.
Sub-chapters.
Yeah.
So all the people who play Iron Hands, Salamanders, White Scars, you guys will have your chapter rules. Even Ultramarines will have the chapter rules because they didn't get them.
Yeah.
Like even the poster boys
indexes
didn't
were
get
meant
them.
to be very generic.
Yeah.
A lot of people are already. I mean, you were a little salty about the concept of all right, what if I'm going up with an index up against a Codex army? They're clearly going to have a bit of an advantage.
I do not think it's fair.
But I think indexes were made pretty vanilla good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is fine.
There's nothing wrong with
but now
vanilla.
if you have these extra stratagems you can use, you have these extra psychic powers you can use, you have warlord traits, I don't.
I mean, you have
Come
the
on.
generic warlord traits, you have the generic psychic powers.
I just want to intercede here. Chapter approved. The chapter approved book that they talked about earlier this year that was going to come out might address some of that to kind of tide the non-power armored armies over, maybe.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind waiting.
Yeah.
I prefer a well thought out
Yeah.
rather than a rushed. I mean, we saw this. Actually, just to change the topic up a little, I received my Forge World Imperial Armor indices. I got Xenos and Astra Militarum, and I gotta say, you can tell that they're a little rushed.
Yeah.
I love Forge World. I love a lot of their stuff. Their rules are kind of hit or miss sometimes, either way too strong or kind of bleh, or too expensive point-wise. It's more for the hobbyist. I always look at them as a hobbyist kind of thing. Once you're really invested in an army and you want to get something really unique, so yours stands out, your list stands out amongst a bunch of other lists. Getting some Forge World units can really make it fun, or just theming an army around a major piece like that Malcador and Furnace. Oh
Yes.
my God, that'd be fun. That thing's scary.
Yeah.
But God, there's a lot of there's.
Forge World flavor of strong.
But on this codex and all these other things, I want the less rushed they can feel, the better.
Yeah.
Because clearly these things were rushed. The last 2 at least were rushed. I haven't got my hands on the Adeptus Astartes and the, I guess, Renegade Astartes books. I don't remember if those are the actual names, but I haven't heard that many gripes about them other than wow, these things are really good and holy shit, they're powerful. But yeah, the Xenos book in particular is got some serious. There's some contradictions. There's some weird stuff in there. A lot of things went up high in price. I'm really pumped because I have a Knight Lancer that I have ready to build and paint. It is going to be the Primus of my House Raven kind of list. Really excited to have it on my desk. It's going to be pretty. I'm going to put a lot of time into painting it. May even light the cockpit thinking about it. Might be that crazy. And they're pretty affordable. Knight Lancers, we talked about this in our night game, but I was talking about, man, I really wish they could move 14 inches instead of 12. Guess what the Cerastus Knights get? 14-inch movement.
Yep.
And they advance 2d6. So they got flank speed. I'm really excited about it. They don't seem remarkably powerful. They're knights.
Yeah.
They're just knights that move a little faster. They've traded some other things. They don't have half the offensive, like range firepower.
Yes.
They have one ranged weapon. All the Thrasos knights.
Yes.
So I don't know. I love the idea of changing up that height profile. It's all these really hunched over robots. I like having a little bigger one in the mix.
Gangly.
And oh my god, the Knight Porphyrion. Once you kit it out with all the other weapons, it's well over, I believe, 800 points, or just at 780 or something.
You're making me cry.
It's ridiculous, but
I can't even field a Stampa.
I know, right? Ugh. Oh yeah, and
'Cause it's 900
I was
base.
stuck in a. Do I get my first Titan, because I've been saving up and thinking about it for a while, or do I get the Knight Porphyrion? I love both those models, the Warhound Titan, and I was looking at it, and a Warhound Titan is a flat 1,500 points.
Oh my God.
So originally, what was it? I think 700 or 800 points, I believe, for a
chassis?
Warhound Titan in 7th.
Yeah. For 7th, yeah.
Yeah, I actually could build a 1,500 point list with my Skitarii and a Warhound Titan just to be a huge dick. But now I
anymore.
can't be a huge dick unless I just field that one Warhound Titan.
That would make you a huge dick.
It would.
But no, going back to the codexes and all that stuff, the contents, yeah, they get their own disciplines, which means they'll probably address all of the things where like, hey, they said every faction was going to have some kind of psychic-y, something to do in the psychic phase.
Yeah.
And like Necrons and the like didn't
Admech,
get
yeah.
that at all in the indexes.
Yeah.
So they might get that in the codex.
Oh, they have Cryptex. Cryptex are going to get some cool.
Yeah.
They always get cool toys.
Yeah.
Every codex, they've gotten something new and cool. And I'm excited to see that.
Yes.
I'm excited to see if Admech have... I just want things to be able to deal with Psychers. Because
Yes.
right now, if you have nothing, if your army has no ability to field a Psyker, you also have no ability to deny a
Yeah,
Psyker.
we've played a couple of games and watched a couple of games with the Psychers. It's just like
Drilling out mortal wounds
just handing
is
him
nasty.
out, like especially when you get one on a bike, just kind
Yeah.
of zipping around in cover, like a line of sight, going hee hee, having a headache and like
Yeah.
making dudes' heads explode.
Yeah.
Just being cheeky.
D3 or D6, depending on how well you roll.
Yeah,
mortal
yeah.
wounds
No,
is
it's
really
really good.
powerful.
Just Smite alone is good work. Like even Grey Knights are doing some work with that.
Oh yeah.
But no, overall, I'm glad I like these changes. Obviously, I can't wait to pick up the Adeptus Astartes one. I want to do some coverage on that the second I can pick it up.
I love the new cover art.
Oh, the cover's gorgeous
Looks
with that
awesome.
with that Primaris Sergeant on
Just
the
makes me
front.
saltier about all the others, but
Well, I also like it in the same notion from like an artistic standpoint that it's got the same shading and lighting as the
last one.
the,
yeah.
the previous Space Marines one.
Seventh edition?
I believe it was 6th edition with the
Sixth edition was
Ultramarines.
the crest, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had the power fist pointing forward.
Yeah. The same lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
The Get That Man a Successor chapter. one.
Yeah.
Then another thing that's coming is there's an event, the Fate of
Conor.
Connor.
Yeah, I mean, we can call it whatever
Fate
we
of
want.
John
I
Connor.
mean,
Okay,
yeah.
abbreviate it.
Yeah,
So that
okay.
starts July 29th?
FOK.
I know next week we're getting more details.
Yes.
I believe it's either the 21st or 29th. I can't
it's the
remember.
21st.
It's the 21st?
I believe it's the
We'd have to, I mean, you can.
It's either that one or the Age of Sigmar one that happens on the 21st.
Yeah, there's some events going on.
Yeah.
So I think it's the 29th because I'm pretty sure that it starts on the day of ITC.
That's right. You were saying that there was
So I'm
the same day.
pretty
as the
sure
29th.
that it's
That's probably it then.
So that's going to be, I'm really excited about that. Everyone's calling it the weeks leading up to this, the muster for Konar. I have not decided if I want to field my Tyranids and get to pick and choose where my victories and defeats, they're all going to be defeats, go. Or if I want to play for the Imperium with my Admech. Every time I've played my Admech, I've found they're a lot of fun to play, but I feel like there's so many holes in my list because I haven't bought enough. I don't actually have the models to do enough what I want with that army yet. And I don't want to spend money on it yet. So I'm having this conundrum. It's like, do I just go for it and fight for the Imperium with Call and my Admech, or do I act as an agent of random and
You
play
didn't
my
want to say
Tyranids?
chaos.
Yeah, I was gonna almost say chaos. No. But yeah, I think Tyranids might be fun. Just the idea. I have some lore behind my Hive fleet. with it being trapped in the warp, and every now and then it splits out just from psychic shenanigans with the hive mind, and spills out into a random portion of the world or of the galaxy and starts effing things up. So I feel like I can write into my lore a reason for them to be in there and screwing things up. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. What do you guys? What are your thoughts?
What about you,
Let's
Brad?
see, I only have Xeno, so
Well, hey man, you get to
Oh,
pick.
which army? Yeah.
well,
We're gonna.
I hate everything about chaos, so I will be destroying chaos.
Oh, yeah. But which army are you gonna play?
Ooh, Tau, it's the only army I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense. I don't know the location of the Konor system, but I do know that it is on the Imperium side. It's not on the Dark. We haven't reached the Dark Imperium side in the story as far. I mean, in some story, but like as far as the Crusade goes and all of the happenings on that side. The Tau Empire is in the southeasternmost part of the human empire that has the Emperor's Light still.
Yep.
So you could potentially get over there.
Yeah. You could.
Yeah,
You could be that
definitely.
missing sept that pops.
Yeah,
up.
there was a whole, not even a sept, that was a whole circle of expansion got lost.
No, that's what the sept is.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yeah, this is the fourth
So
sept.
yes, that's who I will play.
Okay.
My Eldar list will not see light of day probably this whole year. If I had to
Really?
guess.
Until
So,
2018 and you get
I don't
start
think
getting
so.
those
Just gonna
codexes?
back burner them
Well,
for a
I
bit.
mean, it's more or less I like what I have for the tower right now. I don't really know that I need to get more for them.
And you have it's a new list. You've got it all painted, and you
Yeah.
put a lot of miles on that Eldar list in 7th edition
Yeah.
going into 8th. So.
And it needs to be totally reworked. I'm not really in a rush to rework it. So until I start just getting my ass handed to me with Tau, and I'm like, all right, I need to
take
go
out
and
the Eldar.
get some shenanigans
Wraithman.
going. And then the other reason that I'm going to play that is obviously, like I said, on the 29th, there's an ITC tournament a couple hours away
Yes.
that I'm going to actually go and take place in. So
You running Tau for that?
Yeah, I'm going to run 2,000 point Tau list on that, and we'll see how my first tournament goes.
Cool.
That's going to be so cool. That's on my hobby to-do lists. While I don't really plan on getting back into competitive heavily, I do need to do. It's been years, like I think 5 years since the last tournament I've actually played in, and I feel like I should get back into it and
Yeah.
try
I'm
a
just
tournament.
Especially now with 8th edition.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's less.
It's not as scary to me
There's less
anymore.
cancer.
I knew that if I was going to ever do
saying
it in
that, but-
7th, it was just going to be like you're going to get into it and you're just going to deal with something you don't. And I play dickhead lists sometimes, but I'm not going to bring that to a tournament. Like I do that against you guys. You know I'm a dickhead. Like you expect it from me.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to go to a tournament and let everyone else in the world know
Yeah,
that I'm a
we're a
dickhead.
pretty high level group
Yeah.
in terms of if anybody has seen watching our
Yeah, I
battle
mean,
reports.
We're very competitive. We have, the little internal league that we have going on. Everything.
Yeah.
There's a trophy,
Yeah,
We
there's a
still
trophy.
haven't shown that yet because
No,
you
I
haven't
need to
put
go
your
get
name on it
engraved
yet.
for
Damn it.
for 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, finish that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm so competitive in my background and everything, so I want to get into it. And depending on how I do with that and how stuff goes up through like October, I'm really considering actually going out to the SoCal Open.
Really?
Ooh,
So,
exciting.
so I mean, my girlfriend's from out there. It's where family is. So I figure family visit plus tournament.
There you go.
That's gonna be fun.
Might as
Then
well
you're
just-
gonna
just
be
do it.
introduced to a whole new side of the hobby, which is army transportation across or for long
Yeah.
periods.
Distances,
and
yeah.
it
Getting
can
carried
be pretty big pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting carried on the plane.
Yeah, of course. So Jared, what about you? What do you bring into
So-
Fate of Konor?
So since I've started actually making substantial progress in my Primaris guys, running just essentially rebuilding an Ultramarine chapter,
Right.
a whole company essentially. So I'm just going to run with that because I have Guilliman painted, and it's just super fitting for me to just kind of just run with that. It's very fluffy, just having Ultramarines just running out and being part of it, because that's the deal is.
Yeah.
That's what Konor is about. You
Yeah.
know, it's the Ultramar's sector is being.
Yeah, I'm
assaulted.
actually really looking forward to because I think next week is when they're going to be giving us a little more backstory to
Yes.
this and like why it's such a pivotal location.
I speculate that maybe definitely Morty's going to show up
Yeah.
because it's in.
I honestly think we're gonna get a lot of teases of Morty before we actually
yeah,
get
we're
him.
gonna get-
It's gonna suck. but-
Morty's going to be at the end of the year or whenever the Death Guard
So you coming
decks
through one
rolls.
of Rick's portals?
Yes, absolutely. I was hoping you to be like, but no. At some point, I think because you open the 8th edition rulebook, Like the first couple of pages, there's that big
Yeah.
diorama with Mortarion and Guilliman in the back just like duking it
And
out.
what could potentially be the new models for the Nurgle Beast of Nurgle.
Yes.
Or who knows what
knows?
else. I'm
But,
excited. They don't put anything in their books and artwork that doesn't have a model anymore.
Yeah, I expect them to use this to roll out Mortarion and maybe a Loyalist Primarch. We don't know. But I know for a fact, I'm 100% confident that Mortarion's going to come out of this.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
I'd be really surprised if we don't see another Loyalist before the end of the year. We haven't seen any. I mean, we've gotten a lot of lion motif things that looks very Sigmar-esque. But
it could
there's
also
also some lion. I mean, like, it's so annoying. They're doing it on purpose. They're
Every
very
time I talk to you
clearly-
about it, it's like, is it the lion? And I'm
Is
like,
it the
it's
lion?
probably
And then you
not.
look at it and you see it's the same chess piece. Looks just like the chess piece. It's got the anvil, so
like,
Sigmar.
it's like, I was like,
There's so many things. It's killing me.
it was so funny because like the first one was the mantle, and it's like I was like that could be the silver lions for the elves.
Yeah.
And then like and another one you're like is it lion? It's like no, here look at this
Yeah.
Stormcast Eternal.
Dude, it's been killing me. I don't even play Dark Angels anymore, but I know just from a fluff standpoint how much those two brothers butted heads, and I really want to see that in the fluff. Just like have these essentially another Primarch to lead his own crusade because Gilliman's crusade's not going to be good enough for him.
Or to be fair, it could also just be happening on the other side.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy,
Rushing to try to get the
Yeah.
the Blood Angels save their asses because
Well,
oh god, they're
no, that's
so
already
close.
that was already explained in that little excerpt with what happened at Ball.
I haven't gotten there.
Where
for-
He's not there. Don't spoil it.
That's fine.
what?
Let's go for it.
Who cares? Somebody posted this little excerpt from it before 8th drop, and it was essentially Ball's getting destroyed by the Tyranids, right? Really, really, really bleak and dire, right?
Right.
Some shenanigans happen,
Of course.
probably involving
Necrons.
probably demons,
Oh, of course.
because they alluded to the thing that's on their moon.
Oh,
It's
that's
got
right.
The
That's right.
Bloodthirster or Corn Demon guy.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you're not. Tyranids aren't gonna. Which
So
is
they just
weird.
moved them.
Which is weird because Tyranids aren't supposed to register in the warp or something like that, or they're
They're
shadowing
like,
the warp,
yeah, they're
which is really weird. But like in that same notion, like a big storm happens, the ones that are in space go away, and like it's just the ones that are on Ball, and then
Right.
Guilliman comes with his Primaris and save the day.
boring.
All right. So real
That's what it is.
quick before we
Boring.
go, what are you working on?
What am I working on? Okay, I'm still hammering out Tyranids. I have been, a lot of my lists had half squads or partial squads of 3 minimum and added 1 or 2 more because that's what points would allow in 7th edition. And I had all these unpainted models that I just figured, I don't need to because I'm not going to ever run them. Points dropped, and now I have all these squads that can be fielded full squads, and I've always kind of wanted to do that. So I'm just going back, filling out these squads with that used to have unpainted models, filling those up, and then painting a squad of 6 Zoanthropes. And actually, if you guys could help me, any of you Tyranid players, I need to actually sit down and look at the book more, but I'm having this conundrum of if I want to run them in a 6 Tyranid or a Zoanthrope squad or 2 3-man squads. Is the Neurothrope even worth it? Does it count towards the Zoanthropes total? Like, there's a bunch of keyword shenanigans that I need to get clarified. But that's what I'm currently thinking about in the hobby, how I want to run these Zoanthropes, because I'm painting them and I'm kind of assembly line painting them, and they're medium-sized models, and it's driving me crazy. Because usually you can get through stages much faster, but when they're like yay big, kind of a pain in the
Takes
ass.
a bit more time.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. And of course, I'm still making wire trees. So
How many wire trees are you on?
I have made no progress. I'm still at I think 8, but that's it.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I actually made a bunch of progress on my Primaris after I cleaned them all up because of that debacle with
Oh,
the
that's right.
humidity. I was able to get the captain and 2 intercessor squads done, and I have my Inceptors base coated. So I'm going to finish up the Inceptors. I'm aiming to finish up the Inceptors, the Hellblasters, and the rest of the characters up.
The
And then-
what?
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters!
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I had to clarify.
Hell Blasters, all caps. But no, I have them here with us.
Looking good.
Looking good. You'll see them in our upcoming video for
Yep.
into the Strategium.
Yep.
But no, I'm going to finish the rest of that Dark Imperium box for the Primaris. If I make good time on that, I might hop over to the Death Guard because my Death Guard green spray came in.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to be vigilant about that, and also just looking forward to painting those guys up because they look fantastic.
Have you thought, I was just thinking about this earlier, doing a dual straight spray can option for the Death Guard?
How do you mean?
So you have the green and then either a very pale tan or a white, and just at the same time kind of doing this over a unit of them.
I can't fathom how
like,
that would look.
because it might look
Probably just
really
blend it
sickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you do it right, there will be parts of it that are significantly more one color than the other, and they'll blend. And I feel like that might look really sick. Because I do that with, when I do like display painting, I always do 3 layers of like base essentially before I even start painting. And it's a matte gray over the whole thing, and then from the bottom, a darker gray or a black, depending on how much I want that contrast. And then from the top, very high down zenithal point lighting white. And then I use that to establish shading. And I feel like if you're using a lot of washes, because I know Death Guard look really good if you're just using mostly washes with them.
I'm definitely following Duncan's guide to painting the Poxwalkers because using just the washes,
Oh yeah, that looks really good.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
Just doing the washes on a white
But yeah,
base.
I feel like a mostly white with some off green to give it that like splotchy look, right? Because that's unhealthy in general in our minds. So, and then some washes on that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to gross these guys
tops.
up. I got a lot of like Nurgle's Rot technical paint.
Awesome! I'm really looking forward to seeing that your first steps down the path of chaos.
Yeah,
Well, I did nothing.
Morty,
You did nothing.
I built a crisis suit.
There we go. That's
you nailed it.
it's a crisis suit. Hey man.
Yeah.
Sometimes your hobby goals need to be set pretty low.
Well, I
Baby
was gone.
steps.
I was gone for like 5 days, so I didn't really have much time to do anything. But now I leave for Spain.
Yep.
So
You and
trying
the
to-
boys.
Yeah, trying to get 3 more crisis suits built to finish off the 2,000 point list that I want to field.
Awesome.
So basically, got to get them done. Got to get them painted and my stealth suits
Get
painted.
them set
That's
for
right.
the ITC.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
You got a month for that, so.
Yeah, you got until the 29th. So yeah.
But I'm gone for.
Oh, that's
10
right.
days.
You're in you're in Spain.
So yeah, and I want to get 3 games in before that. So
Oof.
I already got 2 scheduled. So we'll see.
I need to get on that because I just want to play more.
Yeah.
Eighth just makes me
I
want
did
to play
too.
more.
I just want to play more. It's super fun.
Well, that does it for our long episode of Wartorn Weekly. Make sure to comment, subscribe, like, do all those fun things that you do, and we'll see you next time.